So there's three reasons why I feel I'm gonna eventually leave the Catholic Church and not and go to probably become a Protestant or something else. Or just be a non-denominational Christian or just a pure Christian. Number one, this one like really gets me turned, like it really irritates me, is Mary. Where does it say in the Bible that you should be praying to Mary? Where? Where does it say in the Bible that Mary is the mediator, a mediatrix, other than Jesus? Where? Where does it say in the Bible that Mary is without sin? Where? Where does it say in the Bible that Mary is the Queen of Heaven? Where? Like, where does it say in the Bible that Mary ascended into heaven, body and soul? Where? And for that one, you only know of three people. You only know of Jesus, some person in in the Old Testament in Genesis, and like Elisha, one of the two. Those three alone. If the Bible was intended to be like the sole like guideline to life, then every word in it should be literal. And if there's no word in it that like there's something that does not seem scriptural, then you shouldn't be doing it or you like referring to it at all. And like the worship of Mary is not right. Yes, I understand. Catholics say that you're just asking Mary for help and all that. Well, technically that's a lie in a sense because reality is, if you really look at the whole Catholic Church, you guys aren't asking her for help. You guys are worshiping her. There's many songs about her. You guys are acting like she's like the mother of everybody. She's the mother of God, and like it's just wrong, people. It's wrong. Like how does it seem scriptural? Like you guys refer to like one phrase that says Jesus says this is your mother, and son this is your mother, woman this is your son this is your mother, something like that. Understand that maybe you have to understand that maybe it was the fact that Mary wouldn't be alone, or that, or because Jesus wanted John to look over her while the time being because she might be mourning a lot from losing her son at that point. Like, come on, people. Like, where does it say she ascended into heaven? You have to look at basically on scripture alone. Jesus, the mediatrix. I was watching this video on Catholic, why like the Mary doctrine of the Catholicism, and the guy talks about how just because like Moses was the mediator, and now so like if Moses was a mediator, then it's okay that Mary's a mediator. Well, sorry to tell you this, but that's not right. You have to understand that there's an old covenant and a new covenant. There's different there's different like bases because the old covenant. You have to think about it. The old covenant got people. It was people couldn't reach to God. People couldn't reach to God as easily. So God chose a person, and he between them was the line of communication. And then you have to understand that through the new covenant, through Jesus' blood, we are sanctified and cleansed. And then you have to really realize that the fact that Jesus alone, the Son of God, says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. No one comes unto the Father but unto me. If he says that, you have to take it literal. Like, Jesus is the only way to heaven. Mary can't get you to heaven. There's so much I want to talk about, but that's just one thing. And two, the Pope. Like, Lutheran was right. You can't, like, the Pope, in the, in the, in like the Catholic reading, whatever you want to call it, in their big book, they talk about, they talk about, like, one of the popes say that I am God on earth To me, that's an abomination right there, straight up. Is that really realistic that we're supposed to be calling somebody father other than our biological father and God in heaven, our Father who's known us and created us and loved us before anybody else? Is that really realistic? People, come on. You're not supposed to. Like, Jesus, I feel like the Bible, the Catholic Church actually subtracted or added words when Jesus directly says, "Do not add or subtract the words of that I'm speaking." And he didn't even add or subtract. He just rephrased it in a sense to where it was actually in a deeper level or a deeper meaning. Come on. And then, and then you have and then and then the Catholic Church does like confessing to the priest. How, like, really? Telling people, okay, there's a difference. Telling people what you've been struggling is different from confessing it to them as though they can intercede. That as though, like, at that point you look to the priest as a mediator, as though they can intercede and tell you what to do in order to get right with God by telling them your sin, and they're like the connection with you and God. Like, it's really a complicated thing for me because I'm only like what 14, but I think it's the truth. It's not right. It's not right, man. And then another thought that came into my mind is how I look at it now. I think I look to it as like Protestants are is like Jesus, and the Catholic Church is like the Pharisees. In reality, I just challenge you guys to really think about that. Think about that statement. If the Protestants are like Jesus, and the Catholic Church is like the Pharisees. Really think about that. That's what I challenge people to do. I want to say so much more, but hey, just yeah. Thank you for listening.